So just standing feet hip space. So today is sort of beginner to intermediate level mat class. Just work as hard as you want to, or not as hard as you want to. So really, when you're going from beginner to intermediate, it's really usually about more repetition. So you could do 6 reps instead of 10, and that's the way of making it easier. So have your feet at hip space. I'm just going to reaching up towards the ceiling, and we're just going to do a few knee bends and just wake up the hips, the knees, the ankles. Think about the breathing. And always the most important thing is to lengthen your spine in every class. So as you go up to the ceiling, just a nice stretch. It's amazing how good that makes your spine feel, just reaching up. So breathing, everything is in parallel with the shoulders and the hips, so the knees are not buckling in. And you're really at this point just taking stock. So I'm sort of feeling that I've got one shoulder that's a little bit tight, a little bit of my low back on one side's a bit tight. So you're just assessing your body and taking notice of areas of tightness. So maybe at this point, you're starting to go a little bit deeper. Depends on your knees, depends on your hips. Keep your head looking forward at the camera, at the computer, so that you keep that nice perfect alignment. You're not looking down. And a good 10 to 20 squats is probably a must for every day. I think it's just the most basic thing we should do just to stay strong and functional. Just lift the head and the heart, flat and walking. So just roll the shoulders, move your nose, just see how the neck is feeling today. Bring the feet just slightly apart. A little bit of softness in the knees, and you're connecting with your pelvic floor. You're pulling your belly button to the back of the rib cage, which is upper abs and diaphragm, and you're just starting to roll down. And again, you're assessing, how do I feel in the back of my body? Take a nice wide, deep breath here. And as you breathe out, draw the sit bones together, tuck the tailbone under, contract your abs, opening up and lift the heart, and then add a breath, an in-breath while you're lifting the heart. So hyperextension through the thoracic, and then come back down. So we'll do that again, soften the knees and rolling. Let's find what feels good today, and that's a very subjective thing. Take a nice wide breath that you feel your ribs expand in every direction. And as you breathe out, draw the sit bones together. So for girls, it's a good, if you've got a bra on, the girls can just try and imagine you could stretch your bra strap around your rib cage. That's a good visual. Lift the heart, inhale, exhale. So do it one more time, soften the knees, find the pelvic floor, rolling down. So if you are a girl, you're going to try and expand your rib cage. As you breathe out, draw the sit bones together, contract your abdominals, roll back up. Opening up, heart to ceiling, belly button to spine, and inhale and exhale and come back down. Just roll the shoulders. So separate the feet to hip space and just keep the arms really close to the rib cage and just keep the pelvis still and just start to do that little twist. So this is for your trapezius. It only really works if you keep your hips still. So if your hips are moving as well, it turns into a bit of a leg and a knee stretch rather than your trapezius. So low trapezius, the back of the rib cage, you can feel this tightness. And then you're very gradually coming up. You could do this slow or you could do this fast, depending on how tight you are. So now I'm level with my heart. So this is your middle trapezius, between the shoulder blades, heart area. And then you're gradually twisting upwards and going higher. Pelvis is staying relatively still. And you could put your forehead on your forearm so that your neck is a little bit more supported. And just, this is your upper trapezius now. So from the shoulder blades up into the neck. And then just gently coming down. So come back into the middle position, heart level, soften the knees, and now we're going to grow tall, and we're going to breathe in and spiral. So this is your Cossack, and breathe out and center. So this is more spinal now. Breathing in, spiral, spinal rotation, and breathing out, center. Breathing in and spiral. Breathe out and center. So the in-breath enables you to go further and recruits your diaphragm so that you're very stable through the thoracic, through the spine as you make the movement. So come back into center and just drop the arms and just shake out for a minute. Take the feet to a comfortable width, turn out your toes, and just a little bit of a knee bend, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm really tight through here. And then you don't even know it until you do your stretch, hey? If you've got knee issues, take your feet a little bit wider so that in the knee bend, the knee is over the ankle. You don't want your knee going way, way past the ankle and putting too much load into an uncomfortable knee. So just see what you can find that works for you. Pushing into the big toe on the straight leg side, make that connection all the way up the inside of the leg. You can add a little bit of rotation, rib cage towards bent knee. You're still really keeping your weight very centered. You could put your hands on your upper thigh, as long as your knees are okay with adding in that little bit of extra load. Couple more. So just bringing the torso in, one more. Come back into center, roll up through center. Stay at this width if you're comfortable. If not, come in a little bit. Bend the knee. So for me, I want to come in just a fraction. It just feels too much in the groin. Bend the knee on the right, and we're just coming into a standing mermaid. So this one is really good because it gets into the lateral lines, the side lines of your body, and disassociates your rib cage from your pelvis and stretches all the muscles that are in between the rib cage and the pelvis. So really good exercise. Now, an intermediate level, if you wanted to, you could take the supporting hand away. So you go to a horizontal line. A little bit more work for the back and the back muscles. So only do that if it feels good. If it doesn't, then stay with the hand on the hip. One more. Come back into center. So drop the hands down, bend the knee on the left. Keep the box of your body very square, not turning. Hand on the thigh, and we'll start with the supported ones. Just see how the spine is feeling. So you're separating the rib cage out from the top of the pelvis in the side. So now you've done a few and you know how it feels. If you want to advance, you go to horizontal arms and then take the supporting hand away. It should feel good. You know you're working harder, but it should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, then maybe stay at the beginner level. Try breathing into the stretching side of your rib cage. Two more. So again, you're using your diaphragm with the in-breath. One more. Come back into center. Just turn your toes, your heels, toes, heels back in. So a little bit of Feldenkrais just at the beginning, first third of the class. So you're going to put your fingers where your collarbones come together. There's a little joint there. And your other finger you're going to put at the bottom of your breastbone. And just think of it as a vertical seesaw. So you're going to soften your knees. You're going to let the top of your breastbone come forward and the bottom of your breastbone move backwards. And then you're going to do the opposite. Top of your breastbone up and back, and the bottom one forward. So you're rocking. Just do it nice and gentle. And as you rock, you're starting to take notice of how it feels in that mid-thoracic part of your rib cage. So sort of between the shoulder blades, sort of towards the bottom of the rib cage, you can feel as you flex, as you hyperextend or extend. We're probably not moving into hyperextension yet because we're pretty stiff, just waking up. The head, you can look up, but just keep your chin slightly retracted. Don't throw your head around. Maybe breathe in as you look up. Breathe out as you look down. Breathing in, breathing out. So like all these Feldenkrais moves, they look very gentle, but they're actually quite strong. They're really mobilizing your spine. One more. Come back into center. So just take the hands out Just roll the shoulders. So keep the feet where they are. You can move a little bit if you feel like you've been standing still for too long. The waiter, so the waiter does the same thing, but you're adding the arms, so that increases the movement. So you're going to breathe in and you're going to lift your heart and squeeze your elbows into the sides of your rib cage. Feel the squeeze of your shoulder blades, and then you're going to breathe out. You can cross your arms, round your upper back, and look at your wrists. So you're breathing in, chin is tucked, protected neck, breathing out. So you start to notice now, because you're moving your arms, you're taking your body through an even bigger flexion and extension, moving into hyperextension. As your in-breath, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So come back into your middle position. And then the final way to advance thoracic extension is to link your fingers, put your hands behind your head, and you're going to breathe in and look up, lift through the heart, breathe out and close the elbows and round, and just make sure you're not pulling on your neck. So you're breathing in, lift through the heart, breathing out, drop the heart backwards. When you do this sort of movement, don't move from your neck, move from your heart. And that way you'll keep it out of the neck. So you're breathing out, and if you think about the vertebra behind the heart, mid-thoracic, that's where the movement is coming from. It's not really coming from the neck. So breathing out, close, breathe in and open, breathe out and close. Last one, breathe in and open. While we're here, feet, hips, space, soften your knees, just do a little rotation. So again, rotation with the hands at the head is a lot stronger. So belly button to spine, breathe in, rotate, breathe out, breathing in, breathing out. Last time, breathing in, breathing out, and just release those hands, do a through shoulder roll. So it really started to relax through the cervical thoracic spine. So we're going to go straight to the floor. So just make yourself comfortable on the floor. Have a big pillow. So we're coming into side rolling, which again is going to be thoracic and now lumbar spine rotation as well. So you want your pillow under your head so your neck is not hanging towards the floor. You want your ankles, your knees, and your hips nicely stacked, hand on hand, and just start to slide that top hand forward. Just to a comfortable range, and then slide it backwards towards the chest, towards the shoulder. See if you can keep your pelvis nicely still while you do that. So it's going to mean you stretch more in your spine. So you're sliding down, sliding forward, and you'll feel it between your shoulder blades. As you slide back towards the shoulder, keeping your pelvis stacked means your lumbar spine has to move. If your spine doesn't like that, you could let your pelvis roll and make it a beginner level exercise, not so advanced. So you're sliding forward, you're looking down, let the neck move with the thoracic spine. You're sliding up, keep the pelvis nicely stacked. So maybe on this one, you could extend your arm. You're not thinking about trying to touch the floor, you're just using the weight of the arm. Touch the shoulder, sliding down, sliding forward, looking down, sliding back, across the chest to the shoulder. Keep the shoulders stacked and just extend the arm. You could add an in-breath. Bring the hand to the shoulder, across the chest. So if you did reach the floor, it would just be through repetition. So I'm still quite a long way off the floor on this side. You're reaching out. Had your in-breath. Yeah, there's no way I'm probably about a couple of centimeters off the floor. So this is the last one, and you're bringing your hands together. So just bend your elbows in, carefully come to sitting, or just roll over if you just want to roll over and save energy. And we'll try the other side. So make sure your neck is perfectly in neutral, so in line with the rest of the spine. Hands together, hips are stacked, you're not leaning back, knees are together, ankles are together. So really gentle on the first one, just roll forward, see how it feels on this side, and then sliding up the arm. Keep the hips nice and still, and see if you can bring the hand all the way to the shoulder. So I've noticed straight away on the first one, I'm a little bit tighter on this side. So you just take it careful if you are tight. So you're just reaching forward, you're looking into your pillow, and sliding up the arm. Keep the pelvis stacked if your spine is okay with that, and look at the ceiling. So if your spine really doesn't like it, allow your pelvis to move back to accommodate the movement. Forward, up the arm, across the chest to the shoulder, and maybe on this one you extend your arm. Bring the hand back to the shoulder, slide across the chest, down the arm, sliding forward, looking down into the pillow. Come back, cross the chest, keep the pelvis level if you can, take the arm out. You're not trying to touch the floor, you're just seeing how each one just opens you up a little bit more. So stretching forward, looking down into the pillow, up the arm, across the chest, out. And for me, I'm still not on the floor. So if you've been doing lots of, hard things like gardening, your back might not let you do that. That's not really the object of the exercise. Hand to shoulder and come back. It's more about keeping your pelvis still if you can do that. So turn onto your back. Take your legs into straight. With pillow or without pillow, that's up to you. So this one's called frogs. You're going to, I'll bring my instructions up so that it gets swept away. You're going to glide both knees outwards and upwards, and only to the place where the knees are pointing to the side. So the minute they start to hike up towards the ceiling, you've gone past where you should have done. So you want to be in a perfectly level pelvis. You've got that little bit of a hollow in the back, and then you're gliding the heels back down again. So it's quite a strong hip stretch. So your knees, you're gliding upwards with the knees, but you're keeping them parallel with the floor. The minute they start to want to point up, you stop. So that's what happens when you get to that tightness in your hips. Your knees will lift up to avoid the tightness. So we want to stay where we get the best stretch. Gliding down. So do two more. So gliding out and just find that parallel stretch. I can definitely feel one hip's a little bit tight. Challenging it. Don't rush to come out of it. Gliding down. So again, gliding. Now this one, the fourth one, just stay in that stretch. 1, 2, 3, and then bring your knees together. So that's the new exercise now. Bring your feet and knees together. You fall out. You glide down. You stay in neutral spine, neutral pelvis. You glide up. As soon as you feel your knees are starting to lift, you bring your knees together. Let your knees fall out. Glide down and together through the feet. So again, gliding up. Knees together. So really nice for the hips, the glutes, even the abs are working in this. Gliding down. So now see if you could glide up into what's called the frog. Bring your knees together and then just roll your knees to one side and come down that side. Come into the middle position, come into your frog. Knees together, tighten your abs, let your knees fall to the other side. So keep your shoulder blades on the mat,
Glide down on that right side. So again, come into your frog. Tighten your abs as you draw the knees together. There's a lot of ab work there. Let the knees go over to the left and glide down with the knees on the left side into the middle position. Come up into your frog. Deepen your abs as you draw your knees together. Let your knees fall over to the right side. Come down on the right side. So you're just playing around with load bearing. So now we advance it even more. If your back doesn't like it, you just go back to the one that you just did before. So now bring your knees up on the right side. Keep your shoulder blades on the mat. Deepen your abs as you come across to the left side and glide down on the left. And then do that in reverse. Bring your knees up to the left side. You've got to decide how much do I need to use my abs to make this comfortable. Over to the right side. Glide down on the right side. So you can feel there's quite a lot of stretching and abdominal work going on. So one more time each. Glide up on the right side. Strong abs, use your abs. Over to the left side. Glide down on the left side. Don't do it too fast. And then last one, up to the left, up on the left side, over to the right side, glide down on the left side, on the right side, come back into the middle, and then just shake your legs out. Hey, just give yourself a little bit of a break there. So nice ab work and nice stretching for the hips and the thighs. So bring your feet into bent. I'm going to cross the right leg over the left leg, and there's no space between the thighs. So your inner thighs are together, your hands are out to the side, you've got your right foot in the air, and you're just going to let that right foot just gently fall over to the left side. And the criteria is your shoulder blades have to stay on the mat. So you don't go so far that your shoulder blade lifts away. And just stay in comfort. It should feel nice. Don't do it too fast. So we'll do five in each direction. So this is my third one. Again, you're not trying to touch the floor. So if you really strive to touch the floor, you're going to overstretch, overreach. You might hurt yourself. So you're staying in that 60–65% range, just using repetition. So if you did 10 of these, you would reach the floor. We're just going to do 5 and then come back into center. So now let your right knee gently fall over to the right side. Go gentle on the first one till you figure out what your 60–65% range is and come back to center. So again, falling outwards. You can let your nose go with the knee. That's always a nicer way of doing this. So your whole spine is moving in a unified way. So again, this is 4. It's a nice, safe way to use your legs to stretch your spine. You're not using too much of their weight because they're together. Come back into center. So then if you slide the knee out and come into the figure 4 position, now there's a little bit more weight in the legs. So just see how it feels. So again, right foot to left side. Keep the shoulder blades on the floor. So you notice now the load has increased. You're doing it 5 times. You're not trying to touch the floor. You're focusing on the right shoulder blades, staying down, and how it feels. What is the quality of the movement? How does it feel? So for me, definitely more challenging in the tight muscles that are being stretched. You could add your in-breath. That's always going to help. Just to create a little bit more stability through the midsection of your spine. Last one. And of course, if you found that was too much, you just go back to thighs together again. So now, right knee to right side. Go gentle on the first one because there's more load. Come back to center. So you've got to figure out what is your 60–65% range. Breathe in as you fall out. Breathe out as you center. So lots of lovely toning going on as well as stretching. It's not just about stretching and balancing. You also going to be working your chest muscles, your waist, your thighs. I can feel my inner thighs working as well. So just uncross the legs, recross left leg over right leg and get those thighs together. And I can feel now, I feel very tight in this left hip compared to the right hip. So go very gentle, left foot to right side, go gentle on the first one because you don't know how tight you are yet. And then just gently come back to center. So keep the shoulder blades on the floor. We're doing 5 of each. The nose can follow the knee. You're breathing in. So this side feels very tight now compared to the side I've just done. Breathing in. Breathing out. So you've got to watch that the left shoulder blade doesn't lift away from the floor. And again, keep it on the time. One more. And come back. So now that left knee is going to fall over to the left side, nice and gentle on the first one. Figure out what your 60-65% range is. You're letting your nose go with the knee, you're breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. So that right shoulder, opposite side, stays on the mat. Breathing out as you come to center. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. So now see if you could slide your knee outwards. So you've got your left foot on your right knee. You're just focusing again on the shoulder blades. And we've got the left foot in the air. So we're going to take left foot to right side. Go gentle on the first one. And come back into center. So again, left foot, let the nose fall into the right side, let the nose follow the leg. Breathe in, breathing out. So you've got to make sure your left shoulder blade doesn't lift away from the mat to give you a full sense of your range. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. So again, in this position, I'm much more aware of the muscle groups that are tight. And breathing out. So then left knee to left side, go gentle on the first one. Keep the right shoulder blade down. Figure out what your safe range is. Let your nose follow the knee. Breathe in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 1 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just uncross the leg. So just drop your belly button into the floor. Bring your knees in and just give yourself a little stretch. Pull your shins up towards your ribs. Float your head in between your knees and just give the whole spine a really good stretch. Do a little bit of side to side wobble. And then gently come down. You could put your hands at the back of your knees and just press one knee into your hand. And then relax. Press the other knee into the hand. It's a nice way just to work the 2 sides of your back. So as you press your right knee into your right hand, pull back a little bit with your right hand. You feel the tension in the right side of your lumbar spine and all the muscles there, and then just relax. And then push your left knee into your left hand and resist and pull with the left hand. Just feel the tension move over to the left side of your back. So you just keep doing these isometric presses, going from right to left to right to left. So just a nice way to connect with your back. Draw some circles with your knees. So this is an articulation of your spine, but it's also a little bit of massage into the floor, and then go the other way. See if you could turn the circle into a figure of 8. So again, a little bit more work in your obliques as you move your waist, move your pelvis, and then come to center. Just let your knees fall apart. Put your hands on the inside of your knees and just gently press outwards and downwards, and just find an inner thigh stretch that's comfortable. Keep your big toes together. Just take some nice deep breaths. So you breathe in. As you breathe out, press gently down through the hands. Stay there. Breathe in. As you breathe out, gently press again. So this is advanced stretching using your breathing. One more time, breathing in. As you breathe out, you're gently pressing again. And then just relax and press your knees together. So we're going to come into the table position. We'll put our feet on the floor. We'll just level up through the pelvis. So when you're ready, we're going to float the knees into table. We're going to extend the arms. We're going to do the 100. So breathing in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out through the mouth and deepen your belly, 2, 3, 4, 10. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deepen the belly even more, sort of think 20% abs. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you breathe out, think 30% abs. Maybe breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you go to 40% abs, pull down through your shoulder blades. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. 50% abs, maybe float the head, maybe. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you breathe out, 60% abs, take the feet a little bit higher. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you breathe out, 70% abs, maybe take the feet higher. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deepen the belly, 80% abs. See if you could extend the legs, or you could come back into table. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 90. Last time, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 100. And hug your knees. Lift your head into your knees. Take a little bit of a breath and slowly, gently down. Take the feet to the floor. Slide the legs down into straight. And we're going to just float the right leg up. Turn out at the hip. Turn out at the knee, turn out at the ankle and the big toe, and you're just going to fall in with the leg, and you're going to fall out with the leg. So just like what we did before, you're keeping the shoulder blades on the floor, they're not lifting, and you're just finding your range on the outward and on the inward. It's a nice stretch, and we've done a bit already. So press your straight leg into the floor, falling out, falling in. About here, you notice your abs are working quite well. Falling out, come back into the middle position and take the leg down. Float the left leg, turn out at the hip, turn out at the knee, turn out at the ankle and the big toe. Press your straight leg into the floor, and you're going to fall in. And you're going to fall out, and the box of your body is not moving. So the range is how far in you can go with your torso nice and still, and how far out you can go with the torso nice and still. So falling in, feel the abs, falling out, come back into the middle and take the legs down. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. So now we've prepped our hips, we're going to float the right leg up. We're going to turn out at the hip, the knee and the ankle and the big toe. Press the straight leg into the floor, and we're going to draw a circle on the ceiling. We're going to come down, around and up to 12 o'clock. So think of a clock, because you come down easy to 6 o'clock, but you push up to 12. So you come down easy to 6, you push up to 12. You come down easy, you push up to 12. That's 4. So do that in reverse. Come down easy to 6 o'clock and now push up to 12. Come down easy to 6 o'clock and push up to 12. Come down easy, pushing up. This is 3. One more. Come down easy, pushing up. 4 and come back down. A little bit of a shake out. So other side, you're going to float the left leg, turn out at the hip, the knee and the ankle and the big toe. Press your straight leg into the floor. You're going to draw your circle, whatever circle's really comfortable for you. So you're going to come down to 6, push up to 12. Down to 6, push up to 12. Press that straight leg into the floor, down to 6, push up to 12. One more, down to 6. Push up to 12. So now reverse the direction, fall down to 6, push up to 12. Fall down to 6, push up to 12. Fall down to 6, push up to 12. Last one, down to 6, pushing up and take the legs down. A little shimmy just to relax. Make sure things aren't too tight. Bend your knees in. So sort of following the classical exercises in order. So you're going to cross your ankles, you're going to take your hands down and wide, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, and you're going to draw your pelvis up towards your rib cage. And slowly down. So again, you're pulling up through the pelvic floor, and you're drawing, pulling your abs in and pulling your pelvis up into your rib cage. There's a point where, depending on how flexible you are, I'm not very flexible in this exercise, you start to feel like the tension's jumping into your neck. So that's where you would stop when you feel your neck. 1, 2, 3. So at intermediate level, a lot of people can start to really lift their hips up and start to come over. So I'm not able to just demonstrate that anymore. It's my one exercise that I can't do very well. So last one, coming up, 1, 2, 3, and slowly down. And again, just uncross the legs. Do a few pelvic, excuse me, frog in the throat. A few pelvic tilts, and just stretch your back out. I think I swallowed a frog there. Tucking under. Just stretching any tightness in the back. So the abs are working and the back muscles are working. We notice the abs. We sometimes don't notice our backs getting tight. So you always do a few stretches in between. So nice level pelvis. Float the knees into table. Imagine the big target in front of you with the bullseye. And your bullseye is where you've chosen it to be. Abs are strong. And you're going to extend, turn out and touch the bullseye. And come back in, extend, turn out, and stretch to touch the bullseye. So imagine that target is just a little bit too far out, and you've got to really reach to actually touch it, to give you the stretch. Your head could come up. So head coming up is going to work your upper abs, but it's going to make your spine feel a lot more comfortable. You could hold the head. That's actually a harder option, or you could hold the leg. So you breathe in as you come in, you breathe out as you move out. So I'm taking my target a little bit lower. So parallel with the floor is going to be a more advanced way of doing this exercise. You can also press your knee into your hand. A little bit of isometric work there. We'll do 4 more, but again, at beginner level, you would do less. And 3. And 2, and you can sort of look around the room if your neck's getting tight. Last one, and then hug those shins, come into your small tight ball, and gently down. When the head's down, do your shoulder rolls, do your head rolls, just relax your neck. Look at the ceiling, drop your chin, glide your shoulder blades down toward your sit bones, chin down, and then you just move your nose a little bit right to left. So it's just a way of really connecting with your shoulder girdle and your deep neck, and then come back into center. Coming into table position again. So single leg stretch, we've done the 100, the single leg stretch, double leg stretch, heels together. Think of your target again, and you're going to extend and point your toes, and imagine the bullseye is just a little bit further out than you expected. So you have to really stretch to touch it and come back in. So maybe again, the head is floating as you go out, you come back in, or maybe the hands are under the head, that's harder. So better for the neck, harder for the abs. Or then the classical double leg stretch is taking the arms out and circling back. You're taking your arms out, pull the belly button to the back of the rib cage in opposition to the legs. So you're breathing out as you move out, breathing in as you move in. Maybe two more. Last one. Hug your shins. Smallest, tightest ball you can find. And then gently down. So one of my favorite stretches, hip flexor stretch. Just extend the left leg. Float your head, nose towards the belly button, lift your elbows, pull your belly button to the back of the rib cage, breathe into the back of your rib cage, and then stretch that straight leg even more. As you exhale, gently down. Bring that other leg in again, so you hug your left leg, you extend your right leg, you float your head to wherever it wants to be. You float your elbows, you pull your belly button to the back of the ribs, you breathe into the back of the ribs, and then add that extra stretch in the straight leg. As you exhale, slowly, gently down. When the head's down, just hug your knees again, just do some shoulder rolls. Straight leg lowering, you're dropping your belly button into the floor, and you're coming into your hamstring stretch. And you're switching. So it starts off at first so slow that there's always one foot on the floor. But as you get used to it, then you're lifting both legs so that the legs are in the air at the same time. So now your abs are working. Then you start to straighten your legs and come into turnout. So turn out through your hips. You don't need to be completely straight. That's up to you. You could float your head. You could do a little double bounce in both legs. 1, 2. So you're pulling the raised leg toward your chest as you bounce the other leg just above the floor. So we'll do 4 more, but you stop if you're tired. 1, 2. 1, 2. Belly button to the back of the ribs. Last one right. Last one left. Hug your knees. Come into your very small ball. Slowly, gently down. Do a few shoulder rolls. So the final one is the crisscross. So nice level pelvis. Floating the legs. Linking the fingers. Again, think of the big target in front of you. So the bullseye is in the center. And you're going to extend your right leg into the bullseye. Turn your right elbow towards it as well. And then come back into center. Extend your left leg, left elbow. If you've got a strong, flexible neck, you can be looking up at the elbow that's above your head. Come back in. Stretch, stretch to touch the bullseye. Breathe into center. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Last time right. Come back into center. Last time left. Come back into center. And hug your knees, give yourself a good stretch. So maybe after that one, we'll put the right foot on the left knee again, and we'll just come into a piriformis stretch. You're going to hold the foot hold the knee, pull both of them towards your chest, and then a little bit of a rock, like you're rocking the baby. Very small, very controlled. You should be feeling it at the back of your hip. Just breathe. And then you're going to ease the foot down, take the leg away, change sides. Carefully lift the knee, so you're not sure how tight you are until you lift that knee. Hold the foot, hold the knee, pull the foot and the knee towards your chest, and then add your little side to side, rock the baby. Breathe through it. Sometimes you'll feel this stretch in your adductors and in your hamstrings as well. Not just the piriformis, depends what's tight. And then just gently ease the foot back down. So just a really quick stretch. Take the feet to the width of the mat. Just roll your knees and see how those hips are feeling now. They should be feeling pretty good. We'll just do 10. This is 7, 8, 9, and 10. So bring your knees together. We'll make them hip space, and we're going to do a functional bridge. We're going to put our right foot on our left knee. Got to think about this one myself. We're going to float our left arm, and we're going to push our right elbow into the floor. So it's right elbow, left heel, and we're going to lift and come back down. And we're going to lift. So you're really pushing that right elbow into the floor. So our functional lines, which are lines of connectivity in the back of the body, come up the hamstring at the back of the thigh, into the bottom, and then it crosses over into the upper back muscles on the other side of the body. So as you push into your elbow, you can feel your large upper back muscles working. You can feel your glutes. You can feel your hamstrings. So it's just a really good one to keep your back body strong. I can feel my abs are working as well. It's not just the functional lines. One more. So then uncross, feet hip space, left foot to right knee, and you're going to put your left elbow on the floor, float your right arm, so you don't have to think about which arm to use. So it's right heel, left elbow, and lift. For me, it's a little bit harder on this one. Lifting, definitely a little bit weaker for me on this side. Pushing into the right heel, the left elbow, and again. So the stronger you are in your back body, the less likely you are to fall. It's one of those things that just helps you with your stability. We've got our proprioceptors in our spinal muscles talking to the brain. You just want to keep a really good, strong back body. So quite often people focus on abs, front body, and they forget about keeping their glutes strong, keeping their back strong, the hamstrings. Couple more. Last one. A really simple exercise, really good exercise. Uncross. So again, just hug your knees, bring your head into your knees, come into the smallest, tightest ball that you can, a little bit of a wiggle, and then gently down. So take the feet down, 1 and 2, roll over onto your stomach, and we'll see where we've got to. Yep, I'm pretty good. I've stayed on track, which is unusual for me. So coming into a Sphinx position, we're going to just draw our elbows. So you take our arms out, but then draw our elbows towards our rib cage and just find where you feel comfortable. So elbows under shoulders is obviously quite advanced position. If your back is uncomfortable with that, you might be a little bit further out. So just find what feels good for you. And have your toes pointed down, don't tuck your toes under. Sometimes when people are tight in their shins, they tend to stay in this position. You want to stretch that line out. So we're just going to just gently float our head to wherever the neck feels comfortable. And then we're going to drop our ribs in the front of the rib cage in opposition to the head. So you can feel that your thoracic spine in the rib cage is getting quite a strong stretch. Add the tongue into the roof of the mouth and just take a really wide 360-degree breath. And as you exhale, you can relax the tongue, relax the head. So we do 3 of each of these. You float the head. You feel the weight in your elbows. That's where the load bearing is. So that then you can drop your ribs into the floor comfortably. Tongue into the roof of the mouth. You're looking forward. Take a wide, full breath. And as you exhale, release the tongue, release the head back down. So one last time, you're floating the head. Weight in the elbows. Gently press the low ribs into the floor, tongue into the roof of the mouth and look forward. Breathe in deeply. As you exhale, slowly, gently down. Glide your elbows out to the side. Just come into a flatter position and just put your hands on the outside edge of your mat, the feet on the outside edge of your mat. And again, just start by lengthening your neck, your spine, your legs. So you already got a sense of being active in your muscles. And then float the head to wherever. Add a little push with the hands. So just find your comfortable position. And again, just focus on where the weight is in your body. You drop the weight into your pelvis. Feel like your shoulder blades are heavy. And then you float the head to look forward, maybe look up, tongue into the roof of the mouth, and take that 360-degree breath again. The deepest breath you can. And as you breathe out, release the tongue, bring the chin back to the neck, and very slowly start to come down through the pelvis. Through the spine, through the rib cage. So we do that again. When you're ready, lengthen the neck, the spine, the legs, float the head, adding a little push, and just find where your body wants to be. Drop your weight into your pelvis. You can feel your SI joints when you do that. Feel heaviness in your shoulder blades. Float your head to wherever it feels good in the neck, tongue into the roof of the mouth, and take that wide, full breath. As you exhale, release the tongue, bring the chin back to the neck, and we're just slowly, slowly coming down. So one last time, lengthen the neck, the spine, the legs, floating the head, add a little bit of a push. Just find the weight in your pelvis, find heaviness in the shoulder blades, looking forward, looking up, tongue into the roof of the mouth. Just take that wide, full breath. Feel the stretch in your abs, which is a really nice feeling when you just work them. And then as you exhale, release the tongue, release the chin back down to the neck, roll down through the pelvis, through the spine, through the rib cage. So bring your feet together, still working on the back, taking the arms out to the side. So this one's called the aeroplane. Keep your chin tucked, and then just see if you could lift your heart away from the floor and then squeeze your shoulder blades together. 1, 2, 3, and gently come back down. Could you do that with your palms turned up to the ceiling? So it might be an airplane, it might turn into a bit of a jet with the arms further back, but just keep your chin tucked, float through the heart, not the neck, and then squeeze, press your palms to the ceiling and squeeze your shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3, and gently come back down. We're only going to do one more. So it's quite a hard one, this one. You're going to tuck your chin, you're floating your heart, you're floating your arms into your airplane. Tight bottom, I forgot to say about the bottom. Press the palms to the ceiling, squeeze your shoulder blades together. 1, 2, 3, and gently come back down. So again, really strengthening your back body. just take your hands under your head for a minute and just relax for 1 minute. Tuck your toes under, push your right heel down, and just feel a little bit of a stretch. Come back into relax, push your left heel down, find a stretch, that feels good. Knee to the floor, one more time, right heel pushes away in the knee lifts. Come back in, and then push your left heel away, you feel the knee lift away from the floor, and come back into knees on the floor. So point your toes, hands under shoulders, push back into knees, sitting into your heels, stretch again, take a breath, roll up through the spine. So we're coming into the saw. So if you want to do a modified saw, the knees are bent, but pull your toes up so you've got something to move towards. You're taking the hands out to the side with the palms up. There's always a feeling of squeezing those shoulder blades together. I'm going to put my knees down, and you're going to grow really tall. You're going to rotate. You're going to pull back at your mid back, pull your belly up under the rib cage, reach forward high, level with your shoulders, and you're pressing your other palm up towards the ceiling. You can't see it, it's out of view. So slowly come back into center. So that's the easy way to do a saw, either with the knees up or the knees down. So you grow tall, you rotate, you pull back at the middle of your back, you're reaching high, level with your shoulders, and the other palm, if you can see it, is pushing up. So you stretch your shoulder. Belly button to the back of the ribs. Come back into center. So once you're sure that your back's okay with a little bit of stretching, you grow tall, you rotate, you pull back at your mid-thoracic, and now you could reach down towards your toes. There's a little bit of compression in your spine as you do that. So just make sure you're comfortable with that, and then come back into center. So grow tall, rotate, pull back at your mid-thoracic, belly button to the back of the ribs, reaching either high or towards the toes. Press the back palm up. Strong abs to come back into center. Well done. So from here, put the hands on the floor. Bring yourself into cross-legged. If you can't sit in cross-legged, you would come into a diamond. If you don't like sitting even in this position, you could sit on your big pillow. So that will help to just relax you a little bit. So I've chosen my easy side first. We've all got a favorite side with the leg at the front. Hands on the floor, just coming into mermaid. The nice variation of the mermaid, and come back to center. So a little bit harder. So your pelvis is much more fixed when you're in cross-legged. As the arm goes up, the sit bone drops down. And come back into center. As the arm goes up, the sit bone drops down. You could use your in-breath. So you're breathing into the stretching side of your rib cage. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Come into crossed arms. Cossack, spiral up and around. Come back down into center. Spiral up and around. So obviously the Cossack in cross-legged is harder. The pelvis doesn't move, so that means you get much more rotation through your lumbar spine, even into your thoracic spine. We just doing 4. So now uncross the legs and recross, but put your least favorite leg in the front. So usually there's a slight difference in the hips, and your brain knows the difference and always chooses the stronger side. So now we're going to come up and over, come back into center. So you're breathing into your stretching side of your rib cage. You're dropping the sit bone on the same side that's stretching. And again, one more each. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Cossack 4 times. So you're going to spiral up and around, belly button to the back of the rib cage. Breathing out, spiraling around. And come back into center. Spiral around. Come back into center. Last time. Come back into center, relaxing. Just take the legs out, give them a little shake. So the classical finish for any Pilates class is a press up. So we're going to come onto hands and knees, and we're going to do an easy press. We're just going to do 4. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Draw a line from one thumb to the other. You're bending your elbows backwards, not outwards. Pull the belly up under the rib cage, and you're going to lower to the thumb line, not too fast, and press away. So deeply imprint your belly to the back of the rib cage, lowering so your spine is in a perfect neutral. Breathe out and press. So you breathe in to lower. Breathe out to press. Last time, breathing in. Breathing out. We've just got time to take our right hand through and just thread the needle, just gentle, wiggle the fingers, pull the belly button in and come up and come out. Do that one more time. So we thread the needle, just find a stretch that feels good, got my head on the floor, and then pull the belly button in as we move out into rotation and bring the hands back to the floor. So same thing with the left hand. You're going to take your left hand through the space, nice and gentle, just figure out what the shoulder girdle wants to do. Wiggle the fingers, belly button to spine as you come up and you come out. And again, one more time, thread the needle, wiggle the fingers, belly button to spine as you come out in line with the shoulder, opening up, come back into 4-point kneeling, and then just sitting into the heels and just stretch, take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, just tuck your tailbone under, roll up into the knees, and that is level 1 to 2 mat class. And well done.